Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Eddie Marcus here, spokesman and advocate of basic human rights for all people. Preparing early this morning to have a cup of coffee and go down to the medical facility, the hospital, and have a procedure done. And I guess most people in America are familiar with the fact that last night somebody won a Powerball or one of these gambling things that paid over $1 billion. Now, if you are an American and you paid anything to get a ticket, you did it, you hoped you won. But only one person won. And that one person this morning, anything that money should be able to do for any individual, that person should be able to have that done. You know, in America, and probably mostly around the world, you can have anything done because everything that can be done requires some money, usually, to be done. And that's what people focus on. So there's one thing that many of you don't know that you don't have to regret is that you don't have the headache that's going to come from having $1 billion. Anyway, there's nothing wrong with the fact that $1 billion or that you have resources, use them. But we have determined in America and around the world that having that ability, that access, is what everybody wants. And in every country, you got people who have access. Maybe not $1 billion as a group, or should I say as an individual, but maybe as groups. And you do things that other people will never be able to do. Some of you, as simple as here in Minnesota, can go out and take a snowblower and blow all the snow off your lawn. Others out there with a rake, trying to rake the snow off. And I'm sure they wish they had a snowblower or had some way to have this taken care of. And so, ladies and gentlemen, this is the thing that really brings me to you this morning, is that we have our founding fathers, and many of you and most of us at one time or another have held the founding fathers up in high esteem, even if they own slaves, and even if we are a result of that slavery. We still, to some degree, says right on with the founding fathers. But I would like for you to know, ladies and gentlemen, that things change. For instance, slavery has always been wrong. Still, there's slavery. The persecution has always been wrong, but still it exists. So whatever the founding fathers did had not been sufficient enough to deal with the problems that we have today. Many of them are the same from yesterday. But my vision as spokesman and advocate for basic human rights takes me beyond the founding fathers. Those things that the founding fathers did that were absolutely good and wonderful can be maintained. But that stuff that's second-handed, that stuff that weighs down, based upon the experience and exposure that I've had, and it says to you that that stuff has got to go. It has got to go. It doesn't make any sense. The procedure that I'm going through this morning, it's a result of a failure of the healthcare system. The motivation of the healthcare system. All of these kinds of things are intertwined together. We and people of all the earth should be able to come together and let us fix this problem. At least that's what I'm asking you to do. And I'm speaking to you. I'm not speaking to the governments of the world. The governments of the world have been maintaining these systems as they exist, regardless of how much pain, regardless of how much suffering they cause. In America, apparently, black people and people of color have not suffered enough. You got white people in America who have come together calling themselves Christians, ready to get guns and protect your life only until they want you to die. Then they'll send you to die for them. Man, this stuff is crazy, absolutely crazy. So what I'm saying to the people of the earth, I'm talking to human beings everywhere, everywhere. This earth has been sufficiently supplied with everything that each and every last one of us would ever need to enjoy life. The key issue is that everybody participates in the process. You know, they like to tell you that you're dumb. They like to tell you you're smart. And some got a lot of sense, some got no sense. Some got the right to be the poorest people on earth. Some got the right to be the most wealthiest people on earth. Well, that's a con game. When everybody on earth can experience that wonderful life. But in order to do that, you have to change the way we've been doing things, which means we're going to have to change the way we've been thinking. We've been thinking to trust the way we do. And it's sometimes we're easily motivated. When you think about how people can listen to an evil voice and all of a sudden people just rise up like a flood, it's because that pain, that suffering that's inside of them has been there all the time. It has never been eradicated. So that says the founding fathers and others have not been able to sufficiently deal with these situations. So my cry to all of us today is for us to deal with it. Now, if the earth has been sufficiently supplied with all that we would ever need, the only thing that's holding us back is each of us participating in the process to create the goods and services, to create it in such an abundance that no one would have to suffer anything that we need, want, or desire. That power is in our hands, but we have to change our allegiance to systems that deny us. We have to change our way of committing our lives to something that works for us, and that is God, an invisible power that we cannot see, but we cause to come into a manifestation by using our hands, our minds, our eyes to cause a manifestation of that power, just as we talk about other things. I hope this is not throwing you off, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm not going to spend too much time because I'm trying to throw a little breakfast together so I can eat a little bit before I go. But I want you to know that it has been designed that when everybody engages in the process, whatever we do will be multiplied by how much it has to be. Now that might include, for those things that we know, food, clothing, shelter, education, healthcare, transportation, infrastructure, and perhaps anything that be made by the hands of man. Might be computers, television, spaceships, whatever. But it's there for all of us to engage ourselves in. Not for some, not for somebody who says I'm smarter than you, not for someone who says I'm the only one who knows, not for someone who says I got the greatest brains, not for someone who everybody else, or when you need some support, you say, I'm sure everybody's saying it. But other than what you need that support for, you already know. So what I'm saying to you, ladies and gentlemen, just consider these things. These things you must consider. I know in America they talk about going to heaven. And in heaven they say all these things will be provided for. I say, well, wait to go someplace. If there is a requirement to fix something in heaven, use that same requirement and fix it here. If you can fill a Chevrolet over here and a Chevrolet over here by using the same prescription, you can build heaven here as there using the same requirements. So why not use our love to bring us out of the hell that we're experiencing every day? I'm saying to you, ladies and gentlemen, we can live our lives in such a way. For instance, I'm getting ready to have a procedure done. It might end up taking my life, but I don't think it will. It shouldn't. But just think about the pain and suffering that people go through who don't have resources. Think about the pain. Think about people who are running trying to save their lives for what? To only die some other time. I say to you, cancer and some of these other diseases and sicknesses that people have that take their lives, that cause them so much pain and suffering, they can avoid. I believe in euthanasia. I'm not imposing it or requiring that it is imposed. But any person that's living who knows that they're dying and says, I don't want to go through anything, or if they just tired of living, should be able to say, it is time for me to leave. I'm tired. I'm 103. I'm 45. I'm ready to go. You should be able to make that decision. You don't need a Supreme Court to tell you whether you can do that or not. You know you can make your own decision. And that should be available to you without you going somewhere blowing your brain out, committing suicide that way. You should be able to go to a doctor with an understanding that, hey, thank God I've had a chance to live, but now I want to go. And they do you just like they do your little sick puppy. They put a little needle in the back of his heel somewhere and that puppy takes a break. I think they should be able to do that to any individual that claims that I don't want to live here any longer for whatever the reason might be. That the people who have the knowledge and skills come on and take you and do what you are requiring to do. And you can have the most fantastic life. I tell you, ladies and gentlemen, I guarantee you, Democrats can't tell you can't be that. Republicans can't be that. Trump can't be that. White people can't beat that. Black people can't do that. Why you can't beat it? Because it's something that comes from God and it will work for everybody. And human beings just are selfish. But I want you to consider what I've just shared with you, ladies and gentlemen. And I hope you have a blessed day and use your God-given sense to make wise, God-divine decisions. Till next time, Eddie Marcus say goodbye for now.